Hey, everybody. Lachelle Weemy here, and welcome to the Better Club. I am so stinking excited that you guys are here. And tonight we're going to go over some more about literally falling into the victim cycle and deciding to take our power back. And tonight I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your blind spot and how your blind spot might actually be impacting your success. So if you are tuning in live from our YouTube channel, I want to make sure to say hello. If you are tuning in inside of our Better Club Facebook group, I want to do a shout out to you guys as well. Those of you on YouTube, if you need a little bit more engagement, you want to, join in the community and all the fun, make sure that you join us over here inside of the Facebook community, because we love to just, really pour into you and try to make you have all of the tools that you need to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, because that's who we are here inside the Better Club. You guys, we want to be a team of people who support each other, to lift each other up, to help each other literally do the best that we can in the life that we've been given, so that we can bless as many people as possible, and so that we can also bless ourselves as well, right? And so if you are feeling like, oh my gosh, like this is exactly where I need to be, I want you to comment, because it's so much fun. It's also really fun to see where you guys are all tuning in from. If your brand's making new, if you have been here for a while, I would love to hear all of it. So welcome so much, you guys. I am so excited that you're here. So last week, we talked a little bit about the victim cycle and the blame game. And I talked to you about the book that I absolutely love, which is The Oz Principle. It's one of my favorite go-to books for personal development, because I feel like it's the foundation of so many of the things that either propel us into success or hold us back, right? And one of the things that I have found, and you might have heard me say this in the Unstuck podcast, but I have found that if I were to pick out one single theme, one thread that has been a consistent theme amongst all of the people that I've either read about, listened to, talked to, that have a successful life or a life well lived, and it's one thing, the one thread, is that those people choose to have accountability for their life. They choose to not allow themselves to stay victims, even if they've had been given some crappy circumstances, they've come up against really hard things. They decide that they don't want to live like that, and they decide they're going to get super resourceful. They make the decision to do whatever it takes to get out of that, above it, and into the life that they are meant to live. And so that is why this is such a great book and such a foundation for the things that I teach inside of my coaching programs and inside of, all of the training that I do. Okay. So again, last week we talked all about, being aware of when we are falling into the victim mindset, right? When we start to blame other things, other people, the circumstances in our lives that are outside of our control, we start to blame them for our lack of success, right? Or our lack of getting what it is that we want out of life. And so we can blame our family for not supporting us. We can blame our customers for thinking things are too expensive. We can blame our jobs for not giving us enough time off. We can blame our husbands for not believing in us. We can, blame all of these things that, in a sense, create excuses. If I have to be like super truthful and blunt, we can use those as excuses that keep us where we are, instead of allowing us to propel us to where we want to go. And honestly, it is one of the most paramount steps in this entire process, is literally just recognizing it. Like, holy crap, like I am so playing the victim card right now. Or, man, you know what, that is an excuse, and I own that. Like, that is an excuse, and I have been using that excuse that is literally holding me back. And so I think that once we start to recognize that things are being used as excuses, or we're allowing things to be excuses, that's honestly, you guys, where we're giving away our power. When I feel hopeless and helpless, and that things are out of my control and there's nothing I can do about it, and I feel trapped and stifled and all the things, like, I don't know about you guys, but I truly feel like I feel suffocated. I feel helpless. I feel hopeless. And I feel like there's no way to get the results that I want. And it's really just that initial step of recognizing, like, all right, I'm blaming all of the situation around me. I'm going to choose to step into my power. I'm going to choose to look at things differently. Everything changes. You might have even noticed my own body language change once I started to think differently. Now, this is something that I haven't talked about a lot yet, but it's something that I kind of forget that a lot of people don't know about, because it's something that's so ingrained into who I am. But I want to just take a side note here and just tell you that our brains work very specifically, and we can actually control what goes on up here. So if you feel helpless and hopeless to all of your crazy emotions that are getting the best of you these days, I want you to take this moment to take your power back and recognize that here's the deal. Our thoughts create our emotions, okay? Our emotions create our actions, and our actions are what create our results. And so all of that stuff happens with our initial thoughts, and our thoughts spark our emotions. So you just, saw me literally change my body language when I talked about something that made me feel helpless and hopeless versus like literally, okay, I can look at this differently. I can think about this differently. I'm going to figure out a way to rise above this to get the results that I want. And how different that felt inside of me, outside of me, and the people around me are going to catch that too. Okay. So it's really that recognition and that awareness that we don't have to be victims, guys. We get to choose to look at things differently. Now, when we think things differently, our emotions and our reactions and our actions and our, results all follow suit. So we can choose, again, we can choose differently. Okay. Now, when I think about that, it's that awareness of when I'm not choosing properly or when I'm not choosing that's serving me the best, that it gives me that first step. Now, I really want to talk about the kind of the second step, which is really to own it. Okay. Now, I might be aware, like, okay, like I'm being a victim here. I'm not looking at things, maybe the best of my ability, but it's really just that owning it and allowing ourselves to look at it from different perspectives that allow us to take that next step towards success. Okay. So what do I mean by that? I think that oftentimes, and I don't know about you guys, so tell me if I am alone here, okay? But oftentimes when we are stuck in a victim mindset and we're blaming circumstances, so I'm going to take one that I have personally experienced in the past, or I might have heard from people in conversations that have, but like, okay, my job does not allow me to get enough time off. Okay. So can I get an amen for anybody out there that's working full time and has a family and a side hustle, right? And so I can say that, and I can feel that, and I can feel helpless. Like there's nothing I can do to help them give me more time off, right? So oftentimes what we do is we seek out other people that are going to make us feel better. We're going to seek out other people that are going to justify the way that we feel. And it's just going to take us deeper down into that cycle. Okay. So let's just say that there's somebody else at work who's feeling the exact same way, that they are also working a side hustle. They're also totally burnt out and they just want some more time off and they can't get it. So my natural reaction, right, as a human being is to likely seek out that person so that we can like wallow in our own self-pity together, right? Like we can be justified in our feelings, we can be justified in our thoughts, and it makes us feel better in the moment. But what that does again is it keeps us stuck down here. So what I think that the one of the most instrumental ways that you can get yourself out of that cycle is to seek out people in your life that are going to help you to see things differently. Okay. So I have a coach that I will go to, and she's a personality expert. Shout out to Kathy Caston. And, if I wanted to go to someone who's going to tell me what I want to hear, it's not Kathy. But Kathy knows me so stinking well that she will be like, okay, Lachelle, this is what you're not seeing. She helps me see my blind spot. She helps me see a different perspective. She helps me look at things from my husband's point of view, or my job's point of view, or this person's point of view. And so part of that accountability journey and part of getting out of that cycle of victimization is to seek out people that are going to help you to see things differently and not allow yourself to stay wallowing in your self-pity. Okay. So seek out people. And I'm going to ask you to really think about the people in your life, the people that you go to on a regular basis to kind of guide you and to mentor you. Are they the people who are going to keep you stuck, or are they the people who are going to help you to rise above your circumstances and see the situation in a different state of mind? Okay. Now, the other thing that I think is really important in this whole concept is to really step back and try to look at the situation that you have from a bigger perspective. So one of the things that I'll do oftentimes is I will literally spend a moment and I'll pray and I'll say, God, please just help me to see things from your perspective. And oftentimes what that does is it helps me to see that I only see this tiny limited view, but he sees things so differently. And if I can at least tap into a little bit of that, it helps me feel like less of a victim. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's just say that you are, not getting along with a certain family member. Like the two of you have just not gotten along for years and years and years. And, you think of them every once in a while and it sparks this emotional reaction. I don't know if you guys have ever felt triggered, but like somebody says something or you think of someone or you hear something and you start to think about this person and all of a sudden all of these emotions well up. For me, this person that I'm thinking of right now, I feel it right here. Okay, so that indicates that I have trapped emotions around this person. Okay, so I can go all into in my brain all of the ways that this person is, a terrible person and that how dare they treat me this way or how dare they treat other people this way or all of the things that kind of keep me thinking that this person is a terrible person, right? And I might even, again, if I want to stay in the blame game, I'm going to go find other people that are going to justify the way that I feel like, oh my God, can you believe that so and so did this? Can you believe that they said this? Like, I can't even, believe that. And you're kind of just like wallowing in that. Oh my goodness, I can't talk tonight. Wallowing in that together, right? When I allow myself to own this and own like different perspectives, I can, literally pray and say, God, please put me into your perception and your view and help me see this person from your perspective. And oftentimes what that does is it helps me to literally lower my defenses. And I start seeing this person as a fellow child of God. I see this person as, one of God's beloved that is maybe hurting and they behave the way that they do because they are hurting or they are feeling rejected or they're trying to overcompensate for something. And oftentimes the way that they behave has literally nothing to do with me. It's just all of the hurt and the way that they've processed their life that allows them to behave in a certain way. And I am kind of caught in the crossfire, or more likely, I'm allowing myself to get caught in the crossfire of emotions, right? And so I think that whatever the situation is, whether it be around your work, your business, your family, your friends, whatever situation that you have, I want you to consistently look at it from a different perspective. It's one of the things that I really like to do in addition to that is to try to think about it in a way that, how am I telling my side of the story? And am I being like extra exaggeration around like the way that I'm being victimized to try to make my story sound better? And am I being accurate? And is there a way for me to consider the other person's perspective? And again, what that does is that it helps me to kind of lower my anxiety, lower my emotional response to things, and it helps me to take the situation for what it is instead of what I have inflated it to be inside of my emotions. Okay. Now, you guys might be thinking, like, why the heck do I care, Lachelle? Like, why do I even care if so and so is impacting me, my brother, my cousin, my uncle, my dad, maybe it's a coworker, my job, whatever it is. Like, why do I care? Like, why are you talking about this inside the Better Club? And here's the deal, guys. There's a couple of reasons. Number one is when we start to rise above circumstances in different areas of our life, it will help us to elevate other areas of our life. Because when you start to embrace this philosophy that we are accountable for our lives, our decisions, our emotions, you start to allow yourself to have that control back and that power back in other areas of your life. So everything rises, everything increases, everything succeeds and benefits from that. Okay. The other reason that I'm bringing any of this up is that I truly believe that everything is impacted by one another energetically. So if I am carrying around a lot of unforgiveness, a lot of angst, a lot of doubt, fear, anger, any of these emotions that are kind of stuck down in the lower vibrations of our emotional vibrational scale, those things are impacting my ability to show up at a higher vibration, to show up in a way that I need to be successful, to attract the life that I want, to be able to have the conversations that I need to have. If I am stuck down here in any area of my life, you guys don't even realize that it's like a little tiny virus that impacts the overall energy of all of the other things that we do. And so if you are finding yourself stuck in some area of your life as far as success goes, and you think about like, you know what? Yeah, I do harness a lot of resentment toward this thing or this person. It's crazy how that energy can literally be sabotaging your ability to step into the person in the life that you're meant to be. And so that's why I talk about this, because it does impact our future. It does impact the way that we can level up. And when we start to recognize that there are things that we can do, such as recognize our own victimization, recognize that we are needing to surround ourselves with people and ways to change our perspective that allow us to rise above that allow us to not have to stay victim to these things. Because again, life happens for you, not to you. And everything in life is literally as important as the meaning that you attach to it. And so if we can get to a place where your ability to attach the meaning that serves you to the best of your ability and to serve the future version of yourself, there is no stopping you. So I don't know if I can get an amen here for people that really, really, really want to step up into their future version of themselves, that want to become the person that is able to have the life that you want, to be able to have the things that you want, the business, the relationships, all the things. If you're ready for that, I want to hear it right now, because these are the tiny steps, the fundamental, the foundational steps that we can take to get ourselves there. Okay. Now, next week, I'm going to talk about the last two steps that is highlighted in the Oz principle, as far as getting yourself out of the victimization cycle and into the stair steps of success. And we're going to talk about literally finding solutions and getting into action, which is stuff that you guys hear me talk about all the time. I'm going to put a different spin on it. And then the following week, we are going to be inside of our Level Up-a-thon challenge. I cannot wait, here inside the Better Club, where I am going to literally be talking to all of you guys about really what it takes to be successful, and recognizing if you are someone who's maybe falling behind, and what you can do to recognize that and get yourself out of that slump. Because oftentimes we'll look at people all around us and we'll start to wonder, like, do I have what it takes, right? Or maybe you were, had some initial success, and then you started to fall back, or you started to get stagnant in your business, and you're like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. And you start to doubt yourself. Maybe people don't really want what I have. Maybe my stuff is too expensive. Maybe I'm just not qualified. Maybe my job isn't as bad as I thought it was. Maybe all the things that sabotage us from keeping ourselves into alignment with God's purpose for our lives. And I cannot wait to help you guys get some clarity, some confidence all around whether or not you have what it takes, and how to build that belief in yourself so that you can truly step into your purpose that God has for you. I cannot wait. If you have not already registered for the Level Up-a-thon, make sure that you type Level Up-a-thon down in the comments, or you can just type in challenge. I don't care. And I will make sure that you guys get the registration link so that you can get yourself into that. It's completely free. And I would love to see you there, because I want you to start believing in yourself. And I want you to have all of the tools that you need to step fully and boldly into the life that God has for you. And I'm so excited and so honored to be a small part in that journey. So I hope you guys all had a great night. I will see you here next Tuesday at 7:30 Central inside the Better Club, where we talk about the last couple steps inside of the accountability cycle and stair steps to success. And then there it is, the Level Up-a-thon the week after. So I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.